G'day guys, this is CW for another weekly developer update, and we do not have Joe this week. We have Chris, or Curbside Prophet. How are you, mate?
I'm good. How you doing, CW?
Yeah, not too bad at all. We've got Joe's stuck on the side of a mountain with some technical difficulties with these internet and bits and pieces like that. So thank you very much for stepping up to the plate and helping out with the developer update this week.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to help. It's only 9 p.m. here, but always happy to help anytime.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you very much. So you're a part of a number of sort of projects within the Ergo ecosystem, Azarus being probably the largest one, and you've just got a couple of little updates that you just released, was it probably 2 weeks ago now. Do you want to elaborate on those ones, please?
Yeah, so Azarus is really interesting. A lot of the back end stuff is good for the most part, right? We have Ergo as well as CKB up and running, and then we're currently working on Alephium as well as the third blockchain. Yep. But I would say like the biggest thing that we are trying our best to keep under wraps, but I am personally excited about, is we are developing the front end, and a lot of the things that we said we would not be able to get to, we're trying to get to.
Awesome.
So I'm trying to do like a mini teaser before the announcement type of thing, right? And so things are going really, really well. And hopefully in a couple months I'll have more to share with the rest of the Ergo community. So thanks for asking, CW.
And my pleasure. And it's great to see that sort of cross collaboration with the EUTXO or the UTXO Alliance also.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've got a couple of bots running also that I see. Do you want to elaborate on what they are?
Yeah, so this is something that I am working with I think his name is, I don't know how you say it, is koutelier or something. It might be French,
that's right? How I say it.
Yeah, exactly. So there's two bots. The first one is something we call like a Sigma bot, right? And that one answers frequently asked questions or frequently asked data related to like the entire Ergo ecosystem. So if someone comes in, they're like, where can I get, what type of exchanges can I find? Where can I do swaps and stuff like that? Rather than having people bookmark things from, in the US time zone or in the European time zone, when there's a bunch of overlaps between different community members, we can call upon the bot and it'll service a lot of those links and everything. And then there's also a fork of it. It's called Curbside Bot Fit. And that gives you like if you call specific commands, you can see like the current Ergo block height. You can see you can chart Ergo Dex pricing statistics, and even pull up the time series of a particular address and how much Ergo or a token it's been holding over time. So it's really cool. It's a fun little thing that I'm doing on the side while I'm on working on Azores and everything else.
No, it's great to have those little side projects, but then it also helps the community also being sort of open source and let them fork and start tweaking and have a bit of a play and see what they come up with also.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome, mate. Well, thank you very much for that brief overview of sort of what's going on your side of things. Let's jump into the dev update.
Yeah, sounds good. I can, you want me to take the first one, CW?
Yeah, please.
Cool. So the first one is morphic. It looks like he has 4 major updates on the Ergo side. He's identified some of the root cause of what I can assume OOM stands for, is out of memory exceptions. And it looks like Kushti has already handled it, along with a bunch of Ergo PRs. On the Appkit side, he's migrated that to Sigma V 5.0. In terms of miscellaneous items, they've done a security audit on the Wallet App mobile, as well as the new Wallet App desktop. And so there's currently discussions in Discord and various reviews that he's going through with a bunch of the community. But very soon he or she, sorry, I don't know if it's a he, plans to release Appkit V 5.0.
Yeah, morphic always has a lot going on.
Yep.
So moving on to Alex. He's released 4.0.41 of the node, just with a few good fixes. The meme pool back pressure implemented in the PR 1819. Profiling bootstrapping to implement better back pressure for blocks processing, there to avoid OOM issues, just like we mentioned above, during bootstrapping. And other matters, he's just checking on new iterations of the Dexy contract.
Up next, we have Luivatra with the Paideia team. It looks like they are almost finished with the profit sharing part of the staking setup. They ran into some issues, but they're very close to getting that done for their completed for their MVP as they iron out some of the details. So a lot of their focus will be on 5.0 as soon as the Appkit comes out supporting it. And so this should give them smoother development, cleaner contracts, and making less hoops to jump through. At least and then it looks like the next one is for the Web 2.0 part of Paideia. They have it will allow DAOs to hold discussions, but only the proposals portion of it. So that way, users can start in a structured way. They can start discussing the different, governance policy contracts that they might set forth. And these are done once the previous. These will be in motion once the previous points are completed.
Yep. I like Louis' updates. He always gives a significant sort of detail for all these updates. It's great to see.
Yeah.
Now moving on, we have Captain Nemo and Nautilus. So on the DApp connector side, they added an all param to the balance. So the method, calling balance all, will return a list of all assets owned by the connected wallet. And then on GraphQL, the backend refinements, so just waiting on a multi-instance deployment to push it to the Chrome store. ErgoGraphqL, the code reviews and new task assignments, and on Fleet, just added a CI setup. So nice. A little bit of monitoring there.
Nice.
And moving on, we have MrStahlfelge. I want to let you say that one. Let you pronounce it.
MrStahlfelge.
Nice.
I'm sure he'll correct. I'm sure he'll correct us in a video tutorial in the future. So for this week's update, for specifically the Ergo Wallet App, he released on the beta channels and GitHub a version 2.0.2215. It includes mosaik upgrades for Android, QR code improvements specifically for iOS, and chained transactions for ErgoPay. So that's really exciting. That sounds pretty important and crucial. The desktop port went to audit, and so. And right now he's processing a lot of the review comments that some of the community might have left for him. He's working on a feature for the next release, which is detecting the best node to connect to rather than having a static one. So I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of people get unstuck there when a node goes down or something like that, and you get a sort of an influx into the support channels. So having that sort of dynamic link there would be great.
Exactly. Other work that he's working on, he's making some small improvements to Appkit. He also wrote a Ergo improvement protocol number 35 for an open token sale contract. So that's essentially like an order book type sale for offering tokens, which is, I imagine it would be an extension of what he's already doing with Token J, right? Which is really awesome. And then he's also implemented another mosaik example app to burn tokens, which is really cool, which he's already deployed on the Token J app, and people can start using it.
Yes, I love what he's doing there. And it's so convenient as well, just ducking into the mobile wallet and then even the desktop wallet for that instance also. It's great to see what he's working on there. Great resources. So moving on, we have greenhat and his team. So Tim L fixed the Windows build and migrated the REST API to Axum. Finished a prototype workflow of providing proof that contracts are from an EIP. GSEC has fixed a potential bug due to multiple Oracle pool instances. And Hanbu97, I believe that is a new developer. Update the code base to use the transaction fee from the config file. And then on his progress himself has assisted the Flux team in fixing a crash in their Electron View desktop environment, optimized transaction signature verification for the Ledger app, and he's continuing his PR on setting custom parameters, so min data points, Oracle count, etc., on the Bootstrap. You can jump into those repos if you want to check those out. So scrolling down, we have a non-BR.
Yep. So Inan BR, also with the Ergo Foundation, a couple things on his side. He has helped the Flex team build out the infrastructure deployment for ZelCore so that it can support Ergo. And he's also worked with a bunch of community projects for the new Explorer/GraphQL instances, which is awesome, right? Because it'll remove some of the bottlenecks and increase infrastructure redundancy. So that's really good overall.
Yeah. The ZelCore integration is going to be great because I've spoken to a number of miners, and basically a lot actually use ZelCore, and to have the ability to have all the sort of GPU mineable coins in one wallet is fantastic. And now obviously Ergo sort of finishes that implementation there. It's going to be fantastic. So yeah, great resource for the community, but yeah, more so for the miners also.
Yeah.
So moving on, we have our favorite meme coin, Comet, and from koutelier. So Reka, personal reasons, can't do the lottery at the moment. So MG Pi will give it a shot. So after the lottery, they will make a burn or a burn double or provide liquidity to the Spectrum pool. So that's for Comet holders to burn or double or provide liquidity by swapping half the Comet and put the rest on the half of the pool. So number of sort of perks there for NFT holders. And then to koutelier himself, just started working on a decentralized platform for users to list everything they can't mint as an NFT, for instance, website templates, 3D models, banners, logos, and whatever else they want to list there for ERG. So expecting to launch a beta test at the mid-September, so not too far away. Nice to sort of have all that collected in one sort of area. It'd be great to be able to, all the community resourcing to be able to jump in there and grab whatever.
For sure. Yeah.
And moving on, we have Sepehr.
Yep. So Sepehr, he is working on ergo-graphql. A couple of things that a handful of things that he's working on. Removing network environment variable. He updated the state resolver by adding network and difficulty fields for anyone who needs to use ergo-graphql. Might be a good hint for you. And something that's in progress is he add a use to address resolver. And it's a way of knowing if an address has been used and how many boxes it owns.
Yep. Just a brief little update here from Ladopixel, just adding that connected to BlitzTCG website to update the logged in players database. And onto MHS.
All right, MHS Sam looks like he's got a lot going on with the Rosen Bridge. So it looks like tests are progressing as planned. One of the major milestones was testing the distributed signature creation on Cardano testnet, and that was completed successfully a couple of days ago. And if you want to, you can check out the actual testnet transaction ID as well. And he wants to emphasize this was not a simple test, right? However, the result was a simple transaction on Cardano. So what this means is that once they pass this test, it means faked wrapped ADA has been sent to the bridge. Watchers reported, guards verified it, and final payment on Cardano is done. And so, you know, what's really interesting is it looks simple, but it's actually not. So huge kudos to the team for that.
Definitely.
It looks like there are some bugs and issues, right? During the test, they found new issues that with the guard service, it led to a possible deadlock scenarios on signature generation, and he's working on the fix now. They still have some issues with the PDP network, and additional issues popped up in terms of handling minimum required erg with when distributing watches rewards, but that has since been fixed. So looks like they're also implemented some protection measures on partially signed but not successful payments. So what this means is if you have 4 out of 5 signature schemes and you as a guard have 3 partial signatures, you can pause the process by not signing yourself and starting a new signature process. So when the second one was done, you can sign the first payment and broadcast it, to complete the attack if you had that intention.
Yeah.
And the great thing is more repos will be open to the public this week.
Yeah, it's going to be huge, this one, opening up the ecosystem for the first time. It's yeah, it's pretty exciting. So moving on, we have Dimitri and his update this week. He has a number of things going on for different websites. So on the Ergo website itself, had huge website speed optimization. So ergoplatform.org now loads very quickly. Added a couple of new languages, being Italian and German. Luigi will translate the blog post into Italian and has added him into the admin panel as such. Fixed a memory leak issue to avoid site downtimes, and just fixed a couple of issues with the CSS. And then on to the Sigmaverse website. Noah and I think it's Rispa migrated the data from GitHub to the new backend and configured the SSL domain to collect the new content from the new backend. There was also a slight problem with the Nginx container and the backend container, so just couldn't load or find the backend. And spent a heap of time on that one trying to figure it out. So yeah, always fun and games debugging bits and pieces like that. Yeah. And also started migrating to the new backend on the front end. So after migrating to the new backend on Sigmaverse, he will add new application page and a form filling information for the project. So therefore, himself, Noah, can check the data, and if all is okay, then we'll add the new project to the site. Be much easier than the current solution. So it's great to sort of streamline all that. And also helped the ErgoPad team on their interface, added some more visibility for active IDO rounds, and did some research about spectrum.fi. So the initial load speed provided info to the Spectrum front-end guys. A lot going on that week. And moving on, we have our favorite name, Cheese Enthusiast.
Cheese Enthusiast with the total of 10 cheese emojis, cheese reactions. Yeah, so you know you can't beat that. You know
there's another one. There's another one. 11.
Sorry, I did not do it. So there's your 12th one. So on GetBlock, it looks like he has two major things going on. So in terms of subpooling, they made a custom testnet called BlockNet to help test the Neta pool. And then they're also remaking BlockNet because they forgot to set the minor reward delay correctly. So pretty awesome that, you know, we're willing to share some of the good stuff, but also like letting people know that no one's perfect. We're always going to make improvements, and we'll keep pushing forward. After that, we also have L2, which is, I believe, what they call Plasma on the GetBlock side. They have been unsatisfied with the probabilistic algorithm used to calculate shares in the ETH smart pool paper. So instead, they're creating their own deterministic, non-interactive share proof inspired by NepoPows and using a similar structure. Nice. Progress on this is slow, steady, but I think according to Cheese Enthusiast, if it's formed correctly, there will be huge amounts of scalability to the entire protocol. And it could easily replace non-interactive deterministic proofs in an optimistic rollup as well. So that sounds really exciting to me.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if you've seen the discussions going on there's a new layer 2 community chat, and Cheese and Q have been going back and forth about all these sort of side of things, and it's sort of mind-blowing to try and follow along what their discussion. It's pretty crazy.
Exactly. I mean, I tried to follow along. I don't know what they're saying like 80% of the time, but it's good to know like there's smarter people figuring that out.
Yeah.
So kudos, you guys.
Most definitely. The discussions have started, and it's fantastic to see.
Yeah.
So moving on, we have LGD from ErgoPad. So just reposting this as it shows up in the dev update, but also fix some minor typo issues. So random NFT sale protocol architecture, just working on that at ErgoPad, making extensive use of Plasma for scaling mint amount for the sale. May be useful to others like Sky Harbor or Zengate, or anyone else who needs an NFT token minting on a large scale. And then he's just working on the Ergo script now that the architecture is done, and any feedback is welcome. So there's a Google Drive link there if you want to check that out. And then on to GuapSwap. So the gang's still making progress on the white paper. He is trying to figure out a way so that people who mine their Guap or any stakeable token, have it staked automatically using the GuapSwap, useful for profit sharing as part of the Paideia, and any project who has staking as part of their tokenomics. That's pretty big. Automate that whole process. And then he's still working on contracts for the new version of GuapSwap, since it's a little bit more complicated just running into some issues. Finished protocol architecture for GuapSwap Pay and GuapSwap Oasis. That might work on these as part of the next hackathon project, and contributed to the Babelfee EIP. I still need this as part of the Appkit in order to fully implement all features of GuapSwap. And next up we have LowKeyNerd.
Yeah, so for LowKeyNerd and the BlitzTCG project, he wants to announce that Ladopixel has joined the team. He is definitely a beast, and it's not because I'm reading that into parentheses. He's done a number of things out there in terms of like the NFT space, and I think he has like a couple of websites for specifically for Ergo. And so the third development update video has been posted as well, and so lots of good things happening on their side, and they think that they will be able to overcome all of these technical hurdles from this point on. If you want to check out their updates, they have that video link that points you directly over to YouTube.
Yep, definitely. And scrolling on, we have Kras.
Here's a good one.
Yeah, with the duckpools update. So they released a primitive version of the duckpools.io for the public testing. So feedback has been positive so far. The test version is live at duckpools.io. So in preparation for the release, they had numerous UI improvements. So the borrow page had a facelift, tooltips, loading time improvements, and then off-chain bot for processing the borrower and lending orders. So that made it fully autonomous. And then just working on a GitHub repo to store the smart contracts and documentation. So next step for duckpools is to get in touch with someone from Spectrum for some guidance on setting up the automated liquidations through Spectrum, through the decentralized exchange, sorry. So as you can see, it's a nice little visualization here of what's going on. I'm not too sure if you've tried it out. I had a couple of goes at it. I set up some liquidity there and took out a loan. So yeah, it's good fun.
I have not tried it yet. I will try it this weekend. I was at my brother's wedding this week, so I will for sure try it this weekend.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, we have QX.
Yep. So QX open close parentheses. He has something called my.ergoport.dev. A few updates for him. He created hash alerts for get block mining. So what it means is you put your threshold percent into ErgoPort, and the Telegram channel will let you know what your total hash rate is and whether or not it has dropped or increased by that percentage. He also created two different API feeds for GetBlock and Neta BTC, so that mining phase rewards could be calculated from a Neta Angel holdings. He also added functionality to some of his bots, allowing you to look up your estimated Neta bonus percentage based on the amount of angels that you hold from your GetBlock mining wallet address, which is pretty cool. And last but not least, an honorable mention from Cardano. They built a LISO3 calculator for the bots staking rewards. And what all you need to do is just pop in your address, counts your Neta angels, your staking amount, and outputs the rewards based on the tiered chart that they have set forth. So it's pretty cool where a lot of the community are doing some of these automation tasks, right? Rather than looking up in like a spreadsheet or something. So yep. Cool to see that.
Definitely. And then just last little comment there, have a fantastic day.
Oh, yes. Have a fantastic day, morning, night, or afternoon.
Definitely. Moving on, we have haileypdll and BlitzTCG for the UI improvements following the alpha test feedback. So some small contract refactoring. So really burn the tokens after the blob feeding or kill. Refactoring the config box to allow more value to be stored. And then coming up, allow fighters to equip armor and weapons. So that'll be NFT based to increase their power and PvE events to fight a boss for a jackpot. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Another exciting update coming up. We have Jay the Air God from Night Owl.
Cool. So it looks like they have 3 work streams to share for this week's update. The first one is front end, and they've added an open source Matomo analytics hooks to the website, or at least in progress. And if I remember correctly, that is an alternative to Google Analytics without all of the suspicious tracking, I think it was. But don't quote me on that. So do your own research. And they're mostly done with the coin flip animation as well. On the backend side, they refactored the VDF off-chain bot code, although they still have more to do this week. They're working on wallet proxy contracts and finishing end-to-end testing of the roulette RNG and payout service. It also looks like they have a number of regression tests for both the front end and back end that they'll run before each release to ensure platform stability, right, and good user experience. They'll also get Prometheus alerts to ping their Discord channels and letting the developers know in case there's a all hands on deck message that is required. And then it looks like they start to work on the add liquidity and withdraw liquidity text transaction backend calls. 2 other things to wrap this update up from the team is they have a promotional video almost completed by Andy, and they are currently gathering contributions and support for Discover Ergo Day, which is September 15th. That's interesting. It might coincide with the set date for the Ethereum 2.0 merge. Yeah. So check it out, right? Discover Ergo Day will be big. We could use the entire community to publicize some of that.
Yeah, definitely. The people who don't know what that is, it's basically an initiative running by the community to be able to sort of spread the word about what they actually like in the Ergo ecosystem, sort of what drew them in, the feature sets, everything like that. So just spread the word about everything Ergo using the hashtag Discover Ergo. On the September 15th, like you did say, it sort of does coincide with the set date for the Ethereum merge. Obviously, that can sort of change depending on the difficulty rate and blocks times and bits and pieces like that. So yeah, exciting times ahead.
Yeah.
And moving on, we have Praga Maxine. So he had a bit of a travel week last week, so wasn't able to do too much, but then was able to load the blockchain into, is that Scylla database?
Scylla, yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
so, Scylla.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no problem, mate. So that was almost identical schema to the the Explorer has. So it has extremely fast write. So indexing takes just a couple of hours on his laptop with all local node and indexer and Scylla database. And it could be down to even 30 minutes, but requests occasionally timed out. So we'll do it slowly.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's very fast. And so quite problematic queuing. So be analyzing that in the following week. That's a huge update. Just a little comment here also from LowKeyNerd. So the Blitz team now is up to 15 people strong. So yeah, it is a lot of people and a big team, and the work they're pumping out is amazing.
Yeah, that's wild. And I never would have guessed too, but that's wild.
Yeah. So moving on, we have Ilya from Spectrum.
Yep, so Ilya has 2 things on his plate. On the Explorer side, he's preparing Explorer infrastructure to workload increase. And on Spectrum, they finished the peer manager implementation. So if you have a chance and you are technical enough, take a look at it because reviewers are welcome. And they also finalized protocol design for liquidity farms on top of Spectrum DEX. So simulations can be found in the corresponding PR that he linked as well.
Yep. And next up, we have Scala Hub. So he's been working on the Dexy contract implementation. So tracking the contract now takes a LP box as data input. So it needs not to be spent on every LP transaction. And instead of an array of trackers in one box, each tracker has an individual box. So there's no for all. And an intervention extract to feature all release in the future to take all tracking boxes as data inputs. I like watching that sort of all come together. There's a lot of work going on between a number of the core guys, sort of number of iterations of contracts and tweaks and bits and pieces. It's good to see it all come together. Yeah,
for sure. And the really interesting thing is people are collaborating across the different work streams, right? And so that's really cool to see.
Yeah. So just a brief little update here. I'll cover it from Key for Excel. So still investigating the issue with the lend to repayment, stress testing the bot currently, and the APIs are being built by LGD. Yeah. Okay, so next up we have MGPy.
So MGPy with Ergo Sapiens. It looks like they had a great alpha launch this past Sunday. All 100 alpha NFTs were minted and or bought. They had minimal issues, and they're also implementing a version 2 standards in the Plasma-based decentralized minting contracts. So congratulations to MGPy for a successful launch.
Yeah. Another pretty cool NFT project. We've seen a number of different projects coming into the ecosystem and launching in the last, even just a couple of weeks. We've seen a sort of influx on Twitter. So I'm not too sure if you've been keeping up with that, but yeah, there's a number of different projects launching.
It's good, and we'd love to see them provide some updates when they're good and ready, right, to the weekly dev channel.
Definitely. And just a little bit of a social update from Chris Ray from the Excel side also. So he's not too sure whether to post it into the developer update, but I think this one should be in here. So the team from the Excel side, so the WEQNT, which is a stake pool on Cardano, is working sort of in tandem with the Excel guys in Kenya. So they're having legal filings in place for a cooperative. So that's designed to be more efficient in their mission of utilizing ErgoLend, or Excel in this case. So at least one of the first borrowers associated with the team in Kenya has reported that they've been able to benefit from the efforts of their P2P approach and are ready to make a timely payment, which is fantastic to those who have contributed funding to them. Further, they'll be able to fund their children's education and profits from the loans received. It's great to see this social impact.
Yeah.
And number 2, he'll be collaborating and assisting in setting up a similar program in Rwanda. There's 2 proposals in front of him on how to build out a P2P program there that will in some ways mimic the WEQNT strategy. Just yet to be designed by the team on the ground in Rwanda.
Yeah, awesome work.
Okay, so that sort of sums things up for the weekly developer update, mate. Number of things going on in the ecosystem. That, as always, it's exciting to watch everyone sort of provide their updates, and it's one of the highlights of my week being able to jump in here and sort of cover all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, it was awesome, and going along with that, this is something that I watch every single week religiously. So, looking forward to the next one.
Oh, and now you can sit back and watch yourself on Sunday at 4 p.m. when this goes live. Thank you very much for stepping in and taking place of Armenia. It's been a pleasure chatting, mate, as always. And thank you very much for everyone tuning into the weekly developer update. Take care.
Take care. Peace.